Who wants to hear this? Let me tell you. If you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, a freelancer, a creative, maybe you are a corporate executive or in leadership, headed to leadership, and maybe you're an author or someone who is on stages speaking. You all, wherever you fit into that category, you have a personal brand. Now, the question is, what are you doing with it? How are you nurturing it? And do you know what's the best way to lean into elevating it for 2025? Hey, Slay Baes. Hey, it's your girl, Shay Cunningham, also known as Slay by Shay. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who may be new here, you should know that this channel is dedicated to the busy professional woman and the seasoned mature woman who likes to sip that tea content about how to transform, elevate, and attract. Now, today's video is going to be a lot about elevating and attracting. We're going to be talking about personal branding, which, by the way, is one of my absolute favorite topics. As I was making my way through the ranks of corporate America, personal branding became something very near and dear to my heart. In fact, I still talk to colleagues and ex-coworkers from my corporate days, and they're like, girl, your personal brand, hunty, it was on point. Like, people knew you and knew the same thing to expect from you every single time. And that was something I really prided myself in. So when it comes to personal branding, I was very passionate about it and eventually started to train and coach and mentor in that arena as well. Now, with that being said, it evolves just like everything else. The techniques and the strategies for personal branding. So that's why I decided to do this video, because there are trends that are in and now out when it comes to personal branding. And don't fret, sis, if you're saying to yourself, Shay, personal branding, what we talking about, sis? No worries. I'm gonna dig into really briefly what personal branding is, the keys to building a really successful personal brand, and how to build that into your 2025 goals. If you're interested to know my tips on what's in and what's out for 2025, then stay tuned. Get ready, get set, let's slay. Before we dig into what's in and what's out for 2025 as it relates to personal branding, first thing we need to talk about is, what is it, right? What is personal branding? Well, it is merely the practice, and yes, I say the practice because it's something that's ever evolving that you should be working on consistently and intentionally at all times. It is the practice of marketing yourself and your position in your career to others as an actual brand. Now, let me put this into perspective for you. When you think about some of the most amazing brands who have literal household names and that we've all come to love, adore, respect, and be loyal to, it is because that particular brand is so strong. And the reason it's strong is typically because of how well they do in differentiating themselves in the marketplace and being consistent at it. Now, I will use a couple of brands as an example. These aren't personal brands, they are physical brands, but I think you'll get the gist. So one of them we can think about is Apple, right? What do we think about when we think about Apple? We think innovation. We think sleek and chic. We think advancement. We think customer service. There are so many things that when you say Apple or when you see the symbol of the Apple brand, it's just an immediate reaction that you have to that particular brand. Well, that doesn't happen by happenstance. It happens because they were very intentional and consistently intentional about how they present and how they deliver on their brand promise. So the question becomes, how do you do that as an individual. That's all personal branding is. Knowing what sets you apart from others in your market, understanding what that is and how it appeals to your particular audience, and leaning into that in a consistent way to attract the people and the opportunities that are destined for your life. So, with that being said, let's dig right into ways that you can do this and how you can build your personal brand. Now, the first step in building your powerhouse personal brand is to define what your unique value proposition is. Yes, your UVP. What is it about you that is unique, different, differentiated from anyone else in terms of your skills, your abilities, and your experiences? We all have them. It could be that we have in my case, a keen eye for fashion. I know how to zero right in on styles and cuts and aesthetics that fit the personality of my clients. Now, for you and your career, that may be something else. It's digging into those talents and those gifts that you have that the average person doesn't have within your field. You have to know and understand what that is and be able to use that as the foundation of your personal brand. Now, the second step to building your personal brand would be to define your audience. Who are you seeking to impact? Who are you seeking to share your gifts and your talents with? And how well will they be able to connect with you? Because once you've identified who your audience is, then you can tailor your messaging to make sure that what you're saying to them is hitting them right in that sweet spot of the information that they want to hear. So for example, with me, I know that busy professional women, and soon to be, I'll be a seasoned, mature woman who want to stay fashionable, chic, elegant, and feeling and looking my best. So that's my audience. And make sure you're speaking and messaging to the right person. Third step is to create consistent content. Now, you are probably beat over the head about consistency. And I will say that I'm here to say that there's a lot of truth in being consistent. And there's two main reasons why that is the case. One is there is a lot of noise in the marketplace that you're competing with. You are competing with other people who have, similar skills and experiences, but nobody is you. So you don't even have to worry about competing with another person in your field, but the noise is there for the audience that you're trying to reach. So differentiating yourself from the other individuals that are in that space that may be competing for the attention of your audience, consistency wins the game. The second reason why consistency is so important is because it builds loyalty. It builds trust. What happens is when people see you passionate about what you do, giving great advice and really leaning into your expertise and experience, they want to see you consistently do that so that they can trust that you're going to be there when they need you. Not everybody is going to be ready for you when you're ready for them. And understanding that enough to know that as long as you keep showing up, the right people that are right for you when they're ready for you is the ultimate goal. Creating consistent content can show up in a lot of different ways. You don't have to pinhole yourself to one or two ways. You can create blog posts, you can do short videos, short stories, you do what's called shorts, right? And you can do reels. There are a lot of different ways that you can tap into your favorite way to communicate that will not take you too much out of your comfort zone, but will require you to show up on a consistent basis. Number 4 is to have a very professional presence. And a lot of this is online these days because those are the days that we're in. So you need to have a really nice website or some sort of hosting site where most of your information resides. If you are in a corporate environment and you don't necessarily have a business where you are required to have a website, just make sure that your presence on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram are professional and that people see you as a stand-up person in your particular field. If you don't have a website or you don't have a need to have a website, and I would say right, for depending on what your particular profession is, have a portfolio. This was really big for me because obviously I'm in a visual and a creative field. So having a portfolio of women who I've helped transform their lives and their style and their wardrobes is so important to me because people want to be able to see and experience what you're capable of doing. So if you're an author, you should be doing probably blog posts and doing updates and excerpts from your book. If you are a speaker, you should probably have some clips of you on stage delivering dynamic presentations. I can go on, but you need to have something that is consistently showing you as a top tier professional. Number 5, as a step to building your personal brand, would be to engage in your community. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, let's say, in your town, but somewhere where you have like-minded individuals, like seeking purposed individuals in your industry, in your field, where you can engage in quality interactions and discussions. This could be the local chamber of commerce. It could be a local organization, business organization that is related to your particular industry or field. And it can also be online. There are tons of online communities that welcome experts and people like yourself that can bring a perspective that's worth bringing some value to the discussions. And now the last, number 6 step to building your personal brand would be to seek feedback and adjust. This is so important because it's going to help you grow and develop your personal brand over time. I gave the story about this in a previous video that I did on how I became a style and image expert. And it was feedback that initially was painful. It was hurtful because I thought that I was at a certain level in my profession and at my craft, and this feedback was like, nah sis, you ain't really operating at that level, right? But that helps you grow, it helps you expand, it helps you gain a new perspective on how you can continue to elevate and grow and become that top tier professional that you're seeking to be, and seeking to be that go-to person in your particular field or industry. So by following these steps that I just shared with you, you should be better positioned for going after and achieving those career and business goals that you have for 2025. All right, sis, now let's get into the trends for 2025. What's in and what's out? Because what we know is that things are significantly evolving, especially in the personal branding space. So let's dig right into that. We're going to start with what's in. Number 1 is authenticity over perfection. Yes, for so long, I think with this new age cyber world that we're in right now, we have try to achieve perfection in what we're doing on social media and just in communicating our personal brand and our expertise in general. And what we're finding that's in for 2025 is that real life stories and experiences are what is really resonating with people. People want authenticity. So these, overly orchestrated experiences are becoming less impressive, and what people are really leaning into are real authentic experiences and stories that relate to their lives. The second thing that's in right now as it comes to personal branding is micro influencers. They are on the rise, hunty, and I am so excited about this because I am a micro influencer. I don't have millions of followers. I don't even have hundreds of thousands of followers, but the followers that I do have, the community that I do have are engaged, and they are vibing with me because we are on a journey together. So we're going to see more excitement and more galvanizing around micro influencers who have smaller audiences, but with more meaningful experiences. The key to the microfluencer experience, I believe, is the engagement and the niching, being very specific about who we serve, being very intentional about the information that we're sharing. All of that is really taking micro-influencers to the next level in 2025. And the third thing that we're seeing that's in for 2025 is a sustainability focus. People are wondering how they can be more in tune with doing things that are more responsible with our resources. We want to know that we're engaging with people who have a passion for sustaining the earth as well as having quality ethical practices. We are in the age where we are tired of being hoodwinked, right? And we also know that it's important for us all to do our part with sustaining the earth. So in my case, I'm going to see a lot more of my clients as well as my followers wanting to understand, Shay, how do I find ways to still be really fashionable but not harm the earth and harm the trajectory of our limited resources as we move forward in this world? And it's my responsibility to provide that information and to make sure that you have things at your fingertips, or that at least you're aware of how you can contribute to that. Now, let's talk about what's out in 2025. The first thing that's out is overproduced content. Yes. So some of you may really be excited to hear this because it can be really intimidating trying to figure out all the right tools to use, the right equipment to get together. You've got lighting, you've got sound, you've got camera, you've got backdrop, all of these things to create these highly polished, highly what's considered professional types of productions and content. Well, what the marketplace is looking for is authenticity and genuine experiences. So that's why we're seeing a big trend towards people being in their cars and just popping in and say, hey, this is what I'm doing today, or hey, here's a great little nugget that you may want to think about or contemplate or, use to benefit you on this day. That is what is really resonating with people. So knowing that you don't have to be highly polished, highly rehearsed, I think will give a lot of us as content creators and those of us who are very intentional about our personal brand, a little bit of ease about having to be perfect. Hopefully this trend will continue, because I think that when overproduced materials and content were really a constant and something that we were all striving for, I think that less people actually showed up because they felt like they didn't meet the criteria, or they had to wait and save and plan and all the things that really speak to our procrastination habits. And so now knowing and understanding, hey, it's okay to do an in the moment video. It's okay to not have a full beat and be dressed to the gods. It's okay to still just bring that genuine fire content as you are. The second thing that is out in 2025 as it relates to personal branding is the follower count obsession, right? Like always obsessed with how many subscribers, how many followers, how many likes, how many comments. Like, it's really going to be moving more towards quality engagement and quality interactions. That's what people are really resonating with. That's what they're really honing in and really wanting. I think that as you enhance and elevate your personal brand and you come with authenticity and genuine care for your followers, then with that engagement and that interaction, the subscriberships will come, the likes will come, all of that will be a byproduct. But just really what we're looking for in terms of as a society going into 2025 is an authentic interaction and quality engagement. The third and last thing that is out in 2025 as it relates to personal branding is traditional networking. Gone are the days of the old school ways of networking and finding and connecting with new people at social events and emails and LinkedIn, DMs, and things of that particular nature. Now people are looking for online digital ways to connect. They are seeking community engaged environments where people that are like-minded, like purpose, are together looking to achieve similar or same goals, and they are looking to help and collaborate one another. So you're going to see a lot less of some of the old traditional methods and a lot of digital space networking and community-oriented engagements really being more effective. So if you are not seeking being a part of organizations or private groups that speak to your industry, then you need to get into that. Go onto LinkedIn, seek out different groups that you can align yourself with that have similar or same interests and or areas of expertise and skills, and do the same on Facebook and Instagram. I know they don't have groups necessarily on Instagram, but sometimes you can find like-minded people in Instagram and go into their bio and find where they have specific groups. So for example, myself, I have a community on Facebook that we are all like-minded women who are seeking to continue to elevate our personal style and our personal brand. So I'll be putting the link to that in the description if you are not familiar with Influencers That Slay. These are the types of communities that people are doing more networking on in 2025. So there you have it. I think you see what the trend is going to. I think that from a personal branding perspective, everything is really moving more towards genuine, authentic relationships, interactions, engagement. So as long as you're doing that and you're doing the very best that you can to present yourself as the best possible investment of yourself, then you're going to do amazing in 2025. I hope that all of these tips were super helpful for you today. And as always, I would love for you to share which are the 1 or 2 or 3 things that really lit you up, that you're like, yes, Shay, I am going to do that. I'm going to engage in that. Or it may have just been some really great information that really affirmed some of the goals that you've already set for 2025. With that, you know, I love you for watching. I want you to always choose love and slay all day.